Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Does my voice sound clearly? Okay, I think everything is good, ya. Okay, first of all, let's say thanks to Allah who has been giving us guidance, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in second webinar IELTS reading and writing. My name is Nurul A'la as Master of Ceremony. Selamat datang kembali, saya ucapkan kepada teman-teman peserta yang telah antusias mengikuti webinar IELTS pada pertemuan kedua minggu ini. Di sini juga telah hadir pemateri kita, Mr. Dennis Andreas. Halo, Mr. Dennis. Oke,
Hai, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Nanti Miss Tracy Seflinya juga akan hadir ya, Mister ya?
Today, only last
berarti,
week.
Oke, berarti hari ini kita akan belajar dengan Mr. Dennis ya. Spesial di reading and writing. Okay, before we start the agenda, I would like to remember all of the participants to pay attention to the rules in this room. Please display your real name in your Zoom account. Oke, jadi pastikan ya di display Zoom ini menggunakan nama asli. Kemudian ketika on cam, pastikan Anda dalam posisi yang baik dengan menggunakan pakaian yang rapi dan sopan. Kemudian yang paling penting, jadi tidak mengapa ya kita menggunakan bahasa campur-campur di sini, either bahasa atau bahasa Inggris gitu. Tapi ketika belajar IELTS, please try to use more English. Don't worry if you make a mistake, either in grammar or pronunciation or anything. Yang harus diingat itu adalah no one should feel smarter than the others. And then we should try to be active and focused, speak up and never be ashamed to speak up first. And last, jika ada pertanyaan, partisipan bisa menayangkan langsung ketika webinar sedang berlangsung ya, dengan ada 3 cara. Yang pertama itu bisa langsung menyalakan mikrofon dan tanyakan pertanyaan secara langsung. Kedua, bisa dengan raise hand ataupun menggunakan fitur chat. Oke, well, before we start, mari kita berdoa terlebih dahulu sesuai dengan kepercayaan masing-masing. Berdoa dimulai. Oke, baik, berdoa selesai. Now we will do documentation session first. And please to all of the participants to open camera and give your sweetest smile.
Baik, di sini ada 3 slide. Bagi teman-teman yang memungkinkan untuk open kamera, dipersilakan. Oke, siap. Untuk slide pertama, siapkan senyum terbaiknya. 1, 2, 3. Slide kedua, 1, 2, 3. Dan slide terakhir, 1, 2, 3. Baik, terima kasih. Dikembalikan ke MC.
Baik, terima kasih kepada Mbak Fatmawati. Okay, next we will continue to our main agenda. That is IELTS reading and writing, and this agenda will be moderate by Anissa Dia RSTP. Anissa is a member of Academic and Training Department Forum Wacana IPB University and also a master student of Nutrition Science at IPB University. Oke, sebelum saya serahkan kepada Anissa, I wanna give you one informasi menarik ya tentunya, bahwa di akhir nanti akan ada pengumuman pemenang hadiah voucher diskon 60% untuk IELTS Prediction Test pada tanggal 24 April 2022 nanti. Mari kita nantikan siapakah peserta yang beruntung tersebut ya. Jadi teman-teman jangan live dulu karena ada informasi penting banget di akhir nanti. Oke, baiklah kepada Miss Anissa Diah, time is yours.
Thank you, Nurul. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Okay, yes, that's good.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to our speakers and all participants. Good afternoon, everyone. We meet again in IELTS second webinar. Tetap semangat. Pun siang-siang lagi puasa ngantuk, tetap semangat. Last week, in the first webinar, we learned about IELTS speaking and listening session. Some lucky participants also get a chance to experience a simulation of IELTS speaking session with Mrs. Tracy. No less interesting than previous webinar, today we will got a lot of information about IELTS reading and writing session. So please stay tuned. Before we meet with our speaker, I would like to remind to all the participants, if you have a question to the speaker, you can directly turn on your mic and ask your question. You also can use the raise hand feature to notify the speakers and then verbally ask your question. But if you don't want or have a problem to give your question verbally, you may use the chat feature and type your question. Feel free to submit your question in English or Indonesia or use bahasa gado-gado. However, remember we are learning IELTS today, so I suggest you try to use more English. No need to be shy. Remember the most important quotes today. No one should feel smarter than the others. Kita sama-sama belajar hari ini. Jadi saya mengingatkan kepada peserta, jika ada pertanyaan, peserta boleh langsung nyalakan mic, terus tanyakan pertanyaannya kepada pembicara, walaupun pembicara mungkin sedang memaparkan presentasi, silahkan. Kemudian peserta juga boleh pakai fitur raise hand, supaya dinotif sama peserta ataupun oleh saya moderator, lalu silahkan langsung on mic dan tanyakan pertanyaannya. Namun jika ada masalah jaringan atau kesulitan menyampaikan pertanyaan secara verbal, peserta silahkan menggunakan fitur chat pada Zoom dan menuliskan pertanyaannya. Boleh menanyakan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia maupun bahasa Inggris, tapi kita harapkan kita mencoba ya di forum ini karena sedang belajar IELTS, kita sama-sama coba menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Dipersilakan juga boleh pakai bahasa gado-gado. Ingat, gak ada yang lebih pintar dari yang lain. Okay, today we have Mr. Dennis Andres as the speaker for IELTS reading and writing session. Hello, Mr. Dennis. Are you ready for today's webinar?
Yes, inshallah, Miss Anissa.
Great. Mr. Dennis already ready to share about IELTS to us. So let's quickly move to the speaker introduction. Actually, I believe the participant who attended the previous webinar already know him, but I'm afraid there are some new participants joining today, so I will introduce him again. Currently, Mr. Dennis lives in Bogor, Indonesia with his wife and son. Mr. Dennis was a student in IPB University and graduated in 2013. 4 years later, after graduating from IPB, he started an English teaching institution named as Leader English. In Leader English, there are some learning classes like TOEFL, IELTS. There are also English Conversation Club. If you want to join or you are interested, you always can ask Mr. Dennis using the participant group. He also has student exchange experience to USA, so without a doubt, he must have a lot of experience with English language. Without further ado, I would like to invite our speakers, Mr. Dennis, to deliver this presentation about IELTS reading. You have 30 minutes. The stage is yours.
Is it only reading or both with reading and writing, Miss Anissa?
There are reading, and then we have a short break playing games, and then continue the writing session.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so yes, thank you, Miss Anissa, for your great introduction. So for new participants who just joined today, this is, and also for the continuing participants last week, actually, I would start with the reading, and it will take about 25 minutes, more or less, including the questions answer. Like what Miss Anissa say, you can use your gado-gado bahasa. Or this morning, I just watched the TikTok, and there was a a Singaporean, and she's brave enough to speak with Singaporean English. She said, eat here or tapao, she said. So it means that eat here or bring it home. And she's very confident to speak in her Singaporean language, Singaporean English, or Singlish. So if you guys want to speak in English, just be brave. You also can remind me if I speak too fast and you don't understand what I said. So please just remind me. If you also want to ask me, it's fine to ask me. Miss Anissa already remind myself, so you can call my name as Doraemon as well. It's fine to call me Doraemon or Dennis. Both of them are fine. So I would like to start with the riddles. Okay, so this warmer, it's warmer related to finding out the words. So if anybody wants to help me, you may either raise your hand or you can turn on your microphone. Jadi kalau ada yang mau bantu saya, boleh angkat tangannya using the raising button emoticons, or you can just turn on your microphone. Does anybody wants to help me to read this first question? I have 3 questions. Ada yang mau bantu saya baca? Does anybody wants to help me to read the question? I'm gonna count 3 seconds. Yeah, if nobody wants to read, I'm gonna nominate. So I'm gonna use Deddy Corbuzier quotes. 3, 2, 1, close the door. But I will change it a bit. 3, 2, 1, open your microphone. So does anybody wants to help me to read this question? Okay. If nobody, I'm gonna nominate. Yeah? I'm gonna nominate someone here as Mr. David Kusmawan, because I met him this morning too. Mr. David Kusmawan, he's also one of my friend when I was in IPB. Would you please help me to read the question, Mr. David?
Okay, just read or answer, Mr. Dennis.
Both of them. You can just read it first.
Riddles. I am not a bird, but I can fly. I eat insect and fruit. I am dark. I sleep upside down. Actually, I don't know what exactly it means. I'm sorry.
You don't really know? Okay. Everyone else, if anyone knows what is, I will give you clue, Mr. David.
This is a bad.
Okay. Everybody knows? Okay.
There are a lot of answers in the chat room.
Okay, there you go. So, but thank you very much, Mr. David, to help me to read the questions. I want to ask Miss Yeni Rahmawati. Can you just say out loud the answer, Miss Yeni?
Yes, Mr. I think
What
the
is
answer
the
is bad.
It's a bat. There you go. Very good. Thank you, Mr. David and Miss Yeni. That's the first question. The second question, if anyone want to help me to read, cuma baca kok. Yeah, but if you also want to answer, you may. So this is the second question. Okay, anybody wants to help me to read the question? I'm going to count 3 seconds again. 3, 2, 1. Open your microphone. Anybody? Okay, if no one, I'm gonna nominate then. I'd like to ask help for Mr. Fazrul. Okay, I saw you open up your camera before. Okay, can you please turn on your microphone? Help me to read the question, Mr. Fazrul. Okay, Mr. Fazrul seems not there anymore. Oh no! Oh, Mr. Fazrul still there? Yeah. Mr. Fazrul, can you help me to read the question, Mr. Fazrul? Okay. If Mr. Fazrul's not there, I'm gonna nominate someone else because I saw the video. But
Someone raising hand?
oh yes. Miss Eka Nurul. Sure, Miss Eka Nurul. Thank you, Miss Anissa. Would you please help me to read the question?
All right, sir. Riddles. I'm brown on the outside. I'm white on the inside. I'm hard and you can eat or drink me. I'm hairy. I grow in hot countries. All right.
Everyone else also can answer, yeah?
I guess a coconut.
It's a coconut. Very good, Miss
Yay.
Eka. It is a coconut. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Eka, for
You're
participating.
welcome. sir.
Mama. And the last riddles for anybody. You may also raise your hand to say something. Say something, I'm giving up to you. I'm gonna sing if nobody actually wants to raise the hand. So does anybody wants to raise the hand? I'm gonna count again into 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. If no one, I would try to nominate again. May I ask Miss Amelinda Kusumaningtyas? Can you turn on your microphone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please help me to read the question.
Okay. I'm yellow and round. I'm same size as an apple. You can't eat me. You hit me with a racket.
You have any answer for this? Everyone else also can try to answer, yeah? What do you think, Miss Amelinda?
I think a tennis ball. I don't know.
Tennis ball, very good, Miss Amelinda. Very good also for Miss Dewi Uswatun who tried to answer in the chat box. Very good.
Thank you,
So
sir.
my pleasure. So that's about the riddles, yeah. So let me introduce you with the reading parts in IELTS. So I just actually taught this session this morning with my IELTS course at 8 o'clock, and it seems like deja vu for me because I just present the same thing. So in IELTS test, you will always face 3 passages if you do the academic IELTS, and you'll always have 40 questions within an hour. The problem of IELTS, the questions are not just like TOEFL. In TOEFL, you'll always have the A, B, C, D options, while in IELTS, there are types of reading parts. For today, I only just want to introduce you 2 types of them, which are true, false, not given, and also sentence completion. Yeah, so, okay, true, false, not given. What kind of questions is this? Is it a new food? No, it's not food. So true, false, not given, it's about factual information. True means if the statement agrees with the information. False means if the statement contradicts or opposite to the information. And not given means there is no information on this. Okay? And how do we actually try to have this kind of tips? This typical question, you may have time to read and analyze the questions. And then you are not trying to match the keywords, but you try to find the meaning of questions. Most of them, it will be about paraphrase or synonym. Look out for some common traps such as all, some, majority. And the answers will always come in order. So questions 1 will come before questions 2. Questions 5 will come after questions 4. And keep your eye on the next question. Okay. And I have some questions here. In the real test, of course, you will have long passages. So same like when I did for the warmer, I'd like to offer anybody to help me read question and also read the piece of the paragraph. It's not the complete paragraph. It's not the complete of the passage, but it's only just few words from the passage. Does anybody want to help me to read the question and the paragraph? You can raise your hand or you can just turn on your microphone. Silahkan kalau ada yang mau mencoba bantu saya untuk baca soal ataupun membaca paragrafnya. Does anybody wants to read the question and the paragraph? I'm gonna use Mr. Okay, there you go. Mr. Odi, I think I met you also this morning. And also before noon. I think you joined the scholarship preparation. Mr. Odi, would you please help me to read the question and the paragraph, please?
Yes. It was found that most visitors started searching on the website by geographical location, itineraries, and travel package to suit their own needs and interests. On the website, visitors can search for activities not solely by geographical location, but also by the particular nature of the activity.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Odi. Mr. Odi can think again, and what do you think the best answer? And everyone else also can try to answer. I will ask Mr. Odi first. Mr. Odi, do you think the question is agree with the paragraph or contradict, or what do you think with it, Mr. Odi? You may read it, and everyone else also can try. Is it true questions, false questions, or not given question?
I think the answer is not given,
Not given. Why, sir?
because in the question it's written that most visitors started searching, but I do not find on the text the information about most visitors. Yeah, in my opinion, just visitors, not there is no quantity of visitors. Yeah.
Okay. So your answer is not given because there is most visitors, but in the paragraph or the short sentences, there is no quantity related to it. Yeah.
Yeah. From my
Okay, thank you, Mr. Odi, for your answer. I just want to ask other participants. I don't say Mr. Odi answer was wrong or not, but I just want to discuss first. Miss Mariam, why do you think the answer is false, Miss Mariam? Why do you think so? Kenapa, Miss Mariam?
Okay, I think yes, it is false because in the end of paragraph, it says that visitor can search by the particular nature of the activity. Maybe this the answer for me.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Mariam. Does anybody answer true? Because I only get two response from Miss Mariam and from Miss Eka Nurul, the one who answered my warmer earlier. Anybody wants to type what you guys think? Nggak apa-apa, coba aja. If we go to the mall, silakan dicoba Mbak. So Mas, so you may try to answer the question as well. Yeah, don't be afraid to answer the question. Okay, let's check the answer. Okay, I would say the answer of Mr. Odi is correct. Why? Why the answer is not given? Because, like what Mr. Odi said, in the question we have the word most, while in the paragraph we don't know whether it's most or less. It will be false if we can find the word few visitors, let's say, because it's countable, so we say few. But there is no information whether it's few or most. So this type of questions, it's absolutely not given type. Yeah. Okay, that's the first question. Now we go to the next question. Question number, what number is it? Number 10. Okay. May anyone can help me again beside Mr. Odi and Miss Mariam and also Miss Eka earlier. You can raise your hand using the raise hand button, or you can just simply turn on your microphone. Ada yang mau bantu saya? I'm gonna count into 3 seconds to get your attention. 3, 2, 1. Okay. For now, I'm gonna let Miss Anissa to nominate anybody here, since you also helped me for this. Can you please nominate anybody here, Miss Anissa?
Maybe Miss Dini Nurfaiza, can you open your mic?
Okay, Miss Dini Nufaiza. Okay, would you please? Okay, Miss Dini, are you there? Probably Miss Dini Nurfaiza is somewhere else. So would you please nominate anyone else, Miss Dia? Miss Anissa?
Okay, maybe Miss Nadia Nur Soraya.
Okay, Miss Nadia Nur Soraya. Any particular reason anyway?
I'm just scrolling randomly, actually.
Okay, sure. Miss Nadia Nur Soraya, since you also opened your video, would you please help me to read? Read questions number 10, Miss Nadia Nur Soraya. Can you help me, please? Okay. It seems Miss Nadia's not there either. Okay, it seems like everyone I prefer to just listen to the webinar. Okay, it's fine. I don't mind with that, yeah. Or since I already asked twice to Miss Anissa, would you please help me to read the questions and the paragraphs then?
Okay, I will try. According to research, 26% of visitor satisfaction is related to their accommodation. This is important as research shows that activities are the key driver of visitor satisfaction, contributing to visitor satisfaction, while transport and accommodation for the remaining 26%.
Okay, so I also throw this question to everyone. Yeah, you may try to say something. Okay, I probably will. I will ask your answer. I will ask your answer first, Miss Anissa. What do you think from your perspective? And I will ask someone else.
Wait, I am still thinking.
Oh, sure.
Okay, wait.
While you're thinking, I'm gonna throw to someone else. Yeah, I'll be back to you.
Okay.
I would like to ask Mr. Rudy Kurniawan. Mr. Rudy Kurniawan, I think I also saw you this morning, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Rudy Kurniawan, why do you think the answer is false, Mr. Rudy?
Because on the question we found for the 26% it came from their accommodation, but in the answer we found like 26% it came from transportation and the accommodation.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rudy, for your answers. How about Miss Anissa? Do you agree with Mr. Rudy answer, or you disagree with it?
After I read it twice, I think I agree with what Mr. Rudy said, especially caused by the last sentence. Contributing visitor satisfaction while transport and accommodation for the remaining 26%. I think that's the key sentence to answer this.
Okay, thank you, Miss Anissa, and thank you, Mr. Rudy. Let's recheck what's the answer. And I got answers also for Miss Eka and for Miss Amelinda. Let's recheck the answer. The answer is false. Why false? Because it is given the information. Different than number 9. In number 9, we don't know about the quantity like what Mr. Odi previously mentioned. But in this case, we have the word 26%, which we can see there. Yeah, 26%. And 26%, but 26% of what? It said for accommodation. But in the paragraph, it said for transport and accommodation. So if you only answer accommodation, then it's not a correct answer because it must combine both transport and accommodation. Okay, thank you one more time for Mr. Rudy and Miss Anissa. And I'm gonna do the last part. Okay, does anybody wanna help me to read questions number 11? Okay, anybody wants to turn on the microphone on to read questions? Okay, Miss Zelin Rela Febrian Shafri.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm sorry I can open the
No,
camera.
it's fine. It's okay.
11. Visitors to New Zealand like to become involved in the local culture. The more activities that visitors undertake, the more satisfied they will be. It has also been found that visitors enjoy cultural activities most when they are interactive, such as visiting a mare, a meeting ground, to learn about traditional Maori life. Thank you, sir.
Okay, what do you think, Miss Zelin? You may rethink again. Is it true, false, or not given? Others also can give the opinions in the chat box. What do you think, Miss Zelin?
I think it's true
It's true. Why?
Because the other example is already NG and false.
So if because it's already not given, false, so the possibility is true, yeah?
Yes.
Possible, but it's also possible false or true. But let's recheck, yeah? Okay, yeah, because this is examples, mister, you show about true, false, and not given. Okay, I also want to ask another participant. I want to ask Miss Melsa Santri. If I'm not mistaken, you also joined last week. Miss Melsa, why your answer is true?
Well, I see the supporting explanation. It supports the first statement, that is visitors to New Zealand like to become involved in the local culture. I'm sorry,
What kind of supports that you mentioned earlier?
So here in the statement, it is stated that the visitors like to become involved. And then in the next sentence, it is written that the more activities that visitors undertake, the more satisfied they will be. It means that they like to be involved.
Thank you very much, Miss Melsa. And also we have the word enjoy. Visitors enjoy. So because they have more activities, they become more satisfied and they enjoy the cultural activities. So yes, it's also correct what Miss Zelin also answered earlier. It's because we have not given false. So why not? The answer will be true. I probably later will change. So I will put not given, not given, not given later. No, just kidding. But that's the answer. Thank you very much for helping me. And now we go to the second part for the reading tips and tricks. It's about sentence completion. Okay, in the sentence completion, you need to check how many words you need to write. The order will be similar, like true, false, not given. Yeah. Questions number 1 will come before number 2. Questions number 3 will come after number 2. And then it should be grammatically correct, but what we read is what the answers are. Okay, I will just go directly to the easiest one. I will not ask anyone to read the paragraph because it's going to be long. So I'm going to let everyone to read the questions, and the instructions say write down only one word. So this word must come from these 3 paragraphs. So if you guys may help me, I will give you 2 minutes to read these 3 paragraphs, and you're gonna try to find out what is the best word to complete this blank. So questions 1 until questions 2, sentence completion, 2 minutes. Silent reading start from now. If you know the answer, just drop your answers in the chat box. Okay, I got answers from Miss Mariam. Anyway, while you are trying to answer, I just want to get my Gojek really quick, yeah. In 1 minute, you still have 1 more minute to read.
Yes, Mr. Fuad, are you raising your hand? Oh, I think there.
Is there any raising hand button showing? Okay, 2 minutes already. Now I wanna ask. There are two participants trying to answer the question. I'd like to ask first to Miss Dewi Uswatun. Miss Dewi Uswatun, can you turn on your microphone and tell me the reason why your answer of number 1 is divided, Miss Dewi Uswatun?
Thank you, Mr. Let me try to answer this question
Sure,
number
sure.
1. The question is, Kireke left the line that was being at the last sentence of the first paragraph. There is a sentence they left behind highly converted land that was, even as they were being divided up among white and white land speculator. The sentence cocok to first questions. I think.
All right. Thank you, Miss Dewi. The word is cocok, yeah, or match to the blank. Let's recheck the answer. Okay, the answer is that one. Divided. Be careful, if you answer divided up, there are 2 words, while the instructions say write down only 1 word. Yeah. Okay, and the second one, I'd like to ask opinion from Miss Mariam. Miss Mariam, can you tell us why number 2, the answer is criminals, based on your answer?
Okay, Mr. Dennis, I read in the third paragraph. In the second sentence, some escaped along the way and were caught and returned to the march like criminals. I see the sentence is so similar. This.
The sentence so much similar, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, check now. Is it criminals, like what Miss Mariam answer? And the answer is criminals. Okay, very good. This is the easiest one I give you. Because in IELTS, there might be much more complicated. That's why I just only give you one more question, but the topic looks like this. And the question said, choose no more than 2 words from the text for each answer. Since it's only one question, there are supposed to be 3 questions. Anyway, I took this from Jay YouTube channel. So if you want to watch the complete explanation, you can watch Jay. But same like before, but this is much more difficult than the previous one. I'll give you, let's go by 2 minutes for one question. 2 minutes for one question to read and to answer. Start from now. One minute left. I know this one is much harder than before. Okay, I got answers from Miss Mariam. I got answer from Mr. David. 30 more seconds. I get answer from Miss Zelin, from Miss Amelinda. Fifteen more seconds, yeah. I get answer from Mr. Rudy Kurniawan. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Stop the stopwatch. Okay. I would like to ask Miss Eka Nurul, the one who answered at last. Why your answer is feeding dish, Miss Eka? Do you mind to turn on your microphone?
All right. Because I got the explanation in the wait 1, 2 in the last second sentence of the first paragraph. If he placed the feeding dish of 9 meters away, and then before that, the information also wait say that gradually moving the feeding dish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Eka,
Yeah.
for your answer.
Yes.
Okay, let's check in. This one is typically IELTS question. Yeah, so you may find the word font switch and you don't really find the exact word. So the word is probably much more difficult. Yeah. So yes, this is the one that Miss Eka previously mentioned. We find the word feeding dish in this particular session. Okay, I also want to show you, if you want to open the free IELTS reading questions, you can open into this one. Let me just open really quick. Okay, I will just take this randomly. Okay, let's go by this reading session. Okay. If you take the computer base, the reading part will be look like this. So you have the paragraphs. So not only just short, yeah, it's long, like when we did the last about sentence completion. So you will read any kind of topic, yeah. And the topic is not always related to your field, but that's the unique of IELTS. You actually learn lots of things, and you may get the questions here. Okay. During the test, you can also see the question palette. Question palette shows have you already answered the question or not. So you can go by this. You can see the color will turn from dark green into, sorry, from light green into dark green. Yeah. And then if you want to go to the next section, you can just click next. So you can see it's not only just sentence completion or true false not given, but you may get the multiple choice questions. You may get yes no not given. You may also get no more than 3 words. And this one is about matching headings. Unfortunately, my time is limited here, so I cannot tell everything unless if you join the preparation, let's say. Or you can also look at the questions here. It's free, yeah. And you can you probably even get questions related to the sorry, about the map, something like that. And one thing that I also need to highlight, if you take the computer base, you can go by, you can highlight words. You are allowed to highlight. You are also given a piece of paper to take note. But you also can take notes on the computer like this one. Yeah, so it's possible to take notes. If you take the paper base, the paper base will be look like this one. Let me show you really quick, yeah. So, just a moment. Okay, I'll go to page 10. Just a moment. Page 10. Hey. Okay, page 10. Okay, this is if you take the paper-based type. If you take the paper-based type, of course, everything will be printed. Yeah, everything will be printed, and you can underline. You can underline using pen or pencil. Yeah, and you can take notes as well by your pen. The questions are similar. It can be about sentence completion, like this part. True, false, not given, the one that we studied today. It can be later on, as I said earlier, it can be about matching information, the one that I just taught this morning. Choose two letters. So IELTS, you must always read the instruction. Rather than that, you cannot answer the question. I think that's all, Miss Anissa, the one that I can share about the reading parts. If any questions, I'll be gladly to answer. It's fine to ask me in bahasa, nggak apa-apa in bahasa juga. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. That was a very informative presentation. And I want to point one important thing is that we need to read the instruction carefully. 1 or 2 words. Don't answer with 3 words. Okay, Mr. Dennis, right on time. I think this is time for us to take a short break. You can take a short break before presenting the IELTS reading session. However, for the participant, we will not using this break for sleeping because we have a game. Wait, I will share my screen first. So I want to inform all the participants that in 24 April 2022, we will conduct a IELTS prediction test. Jadi nanti setelah kedua kegiatan webinar ini selesai, tanggal 24 April 2022 itu diadakan IELTS prediction test. Itu waktu pas banget setelah belajar, teman-teman semua, Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman semua bisa langsung mencoba menantang diri sudah sejauh bagaimana peningkatan kemampuan bahasa Inggrisnya melalui IELTS prediction test. Nah, agar kita nih panitia mau bagi-bagi hadiah. Jadi akan ada hadiah voucher 60% diskon untuk IELTS prediction test hari tanggal 24 itu untuk 3 pemenang melalui game berikut. Nah, voucher ini bisa teman-teman gunakan sendiri atau misalnya sedang berhalangan tanggal 24 tidak bisa hadir, bisa juga dihadiahkan kepada orang lain. Nah, gimana cara mainnya? Yuk kita mulai. Jadi permainan ini judulnya Enrich Your Vocabulary. Ada peraturannya, rules of the game. Bagaimana caranya? Nanti there are some pics on the screen. Guess what are the pictures in English? Jadi nanti di layar yang saya tampilkan ini ada beberapa gambar nih. Pertama nih, gambarnya tuh misalnya ada gambar kucing. Nah, kucing tuh bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Cat. Diingat-ingat. Terus ada gambar toge misalnya. Berarti bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Bean sprout. Jadi ingatnya tebaknya dalam bahasa Inggris ya. Kemudian peraturan kedua, remember all the pictures and combine the first letter of each pictures from left to right. Jadi nanti ingat-ingat nih setiap gambar itu apa bahasa Inggrisnya. Nah, kombinasikan setiap huruf pertama dari kata yang kalian tebak dari kiri ke kanan. Nah, the arrangement of the first letter of each pictures will produce a new words. Quickly give your answer and be the winner. Jadi siapa yang berhasil menyusun seluruh huruf pertama dari tiap gambar menjadi suatu kata baru adalah pemenangnya. Jadi kita akan ada 3 ronde ya. Nanti teman-teman, Bapak Ibu semua, Anda dipersilahkan untuk memberikan jawaban di chat. Saya kasih waktu sekitar selama-lamanya 30 detik aja. Kita mulai agar coba-coba dulu, kita coba ke round percobaan, trial game. Supaya paham ya. Jadi di sini ada berapa gambar nih? Ada dadu, ada apel, ada kunyit, ada umbrella. Salah spoiler. Ada payung dan ada susu. Coba teman-teman, Bapak Ibu semua, tebak dalam bahasa Inggris. Ini gambar apa aja ya? Kemudian susun menjadi suatu kata baru. Coba dipersilahkan. kepada teman-teman semua jawab melalui forum chat box. Saya kasih waktu 20 detik deh biar cepat. Sudah dinyalakan nih. Timernya, apakah ada yang bisa jawab? Ada gambar dadu, apa bahasa Inggrisnya dadu? Ada gambar apel, apa bahasa Inggrisnya apel? Oke, udah banyak banget jawabannya. Terima kasih banyak. Ini bahkan 20 menit aja, 20 detik aja belum. Ya udah deh, lanjut ya. Jawabannya benar. Dadu dice, apel apple, kunyit turmeric, payung umbrella, kemudian ada milk susu. Digabung jadi datum. Apa itu datum? Yuk kita sambil nambah nih pengetahuan vocabulary-nya. Jadi datum itu kata noun. Definisinya apa? Item of factual information derived from measurement or research. Jadi suatu informasi yang didapatkan dari hasil pengukuran atau penelitian. Nah, ini sebenarnya datum itu kita sering nemu nih. Ini adalah bentuk singlenya dari data. Jadi kalau menemukan banyak informasi, bentuk pluralnya adalah data. Tapi kita karena harus membuat pengukuran atau research kan harus ada ulangan ya. Jadi jarang banget dipakai kata datum. Siap ya? 20 detik, satu pertanyaan. Kita mulai ronde pertama. Dipersilahkan menjawab melalui chat box. 1, 2, 3. Di sini ada gambar tikus, ada gambar surat, ada gambar tenda, ada gambar. Aku lupa bahasa Inggrisnya, bahasa Indonesianya apa ya, itu burung itu. Kemudian ada gambar mawar dan gambar kereta.
Burung unta.
Burung unta. Ada gambar burung unta, mawar, dan kereta. Ayo kita tebak apa bahasa Inggrisnya. Kemudian silahkan disusun menjadi satu kata baru. Dimulai ya, 20 detik. 1, 2, 3. Up, 20 detik sudah selesai. Banyak sekali jawabannya. Terima kasih teman-teman dan Bapak Ibu semua. Jadi jawabannya adalah tikus red, surat email. Itu agak tricky ya. Bisa aja kan yang lain. Kemudian tenda, tent, burung unta ostrich, ada mawar rose, dan train kereta. Yaitu retort. Ini Mbak Ali Melinda cepat sekali ya jawabnya, dari pertama ke kedua benar terus. Kita lanjut, apa itu retort? Kita kenali dulu nih kalimatnya. Jadi retort itu ternyata ada banyak artinya. Ada 3 nih. Bisa mengartikan to answer someone quickly in an angry or funny way. Ini kalau baca novel sering ketemu kata retort. Bisa juga sebagai noun, a quick answer that is funny or angry. Atau sebagai kata benda, sebuah kontainer yang digunakan untuk menyimpan substansi dalam dan dipanaskan pada suhu tinggi. Ini untuk orang-orang yang sering masuk lab, terutama mikrobiologi pasti tahu nih retort. Oke, yang ketiga. 1, 2, 3, 20 detik. Ayo kita mulai. Ada gambar bawang putih, ada gambar apa itu yang terbang. Kemudian ada gambar telur, ada gambar astronot, terus ada gambar bunga, dan ada satu lagi yang terakhir itu bapaknya lagi ngapain ya. Oke, sudah ada jawaban. Sip, 20 menit selesai. Jawaban pertama dari Mr. Ahmad Zaki, jawabannya greasy. Bener nggak ya? Garlic, rocket, eggs, astronaut, sunflower, and yawn. So the answer is greasy. What is greasy? Covered with or full of fat or oil. Jadi kayak berminyak, kalau gorengan tuh pasti greasy. Okay, that's the last of the games. I hope it could entertain all of us a little bit. Thank you for the participation, and please don't leave the Zoom because we will announce the winner in the last before the closing. Okay, Mr. Dennis, are you still here?
I am still here.
Okay, you may
5 minutes
continue
to
for
sleep is
the
enough.
reading the reading session. You have
Okay, thank you.
55 minutes. The Zoom is now yours.
Thank you, Miss Anissa. It's such an interesting warmer, but I also have another warmer for you, for everyone. But the warmer, it's a bit different. It's not only just about the words, which are very interesting that the committee provided before, but this warmer is to find out the incorrect sentence. So when we write, of course, sometimes we make mistakes, even when we speak. But when we write, we actually have some time to check our sentence. So this sentence is wrong or broken. Can anybody help me to correct this sentence? She drink a coffee every morning. You may type down the answer, yeah, for question number 1. And what's wrong with this sentence? She drink a coffee every morning. Silakan for everyone. Okay, I got some answers there from Miss Shifa Robani, from Miss Eka Nurul, from Miss Amelinda. Okay, from Miss Zalin. Okay. Everyone else, I will count in the 10 seconds, yeah? So you guys can, of course, answer the questions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let me ask first to Miss Shifa Robani, I believe. Is it Miss or Mr. Shifa? Because the picture seems a man. Is it possible for Mr. Shifa Robani to turn on the microphone? Apakah mungkin Mr. Shifa?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go, Mr.
Because
Shifa, yeah.
verb is wrong.
Okay, the verb is wrong. Okay. Why it's wrong, sir?
Because the subject is she, need plus verb plus s.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I call you by Mr. Shifa or Mr. Robani?
Mr. Shifa.
Mr. Shifa. Thank you, Mr. Shifa. But there is one more mistake. If anybody knows what Mr. Shifa said is correct. Does anybody can find? I'll give extra 5 minutes to find out. Okay, let's go by Miss Melsa Santri. Why a coffee is wrong, Miss Melsa Santri?
Okay, it is because coffee is, what is it?
Uncountable?
Well, yes, uncountable noun. So it's supposed to be written coffee, drink coffee. She drinks coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Thank
doesn't
you.
need an article. Yeah.
It's an article. Okay. Thank you, Miss Melsa. I want to ask to Miss Dianawati. Why a cup of coffee, Miss Dianawati?
Yes, just I think it's sounds familiar. For coffee is a cup of coffee, not a coffee, because coffee is like drink, not non.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Diana, and thank you also for Miss Aslima. Let's recheck what's wrong with this sentence. First, yes, it must be she drinks because we know from the word every morning. And yes, you can say a cup of, like what Miss Diana and Miss Aslima say. If you say a cup of coffee, it becomes countable. What do we count? The cup. Yeah. So we can say a cup. You can say I drink 2 cups of coffee. You can, if you actually can drink that much. But you can also leave it blank. She drinks coffee. You can also put some. So some, it's not always for plural, but it's also possible for singular. Sorry, not for singular, for uncountable. For uncountable noun, you can say some coffee. Okay, that's the first one. The second one, I have the next sentence. Okay, he began his business in 2005, but only a little customers wanted to buy his product. Okay, everyone else can try to correct the sentence. Boleh ya? Kita apa sih yang salah dari kalimat ini? And there is a possibility more than one mistake. There is a possibility that you write more than one mistake. I'm gonna count 10 seconds again. Boleh ditulis jawabannya di chat box. Don't be worry. Ya, 10 seconds to count the time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you very much. I got some answers from Miss Melsa, from Miss Eka, from Miss Amelinda, from Miss Diana. Okay. Let's check the answer ya. Okay. First, be careful of the word began. So this one we pronounce it began ya, not begun. Now we not begun but began. So this one is past participle, or we call it verb 3. Verb 3 cannot be alone if it becomes the verb. So because it's said in 2005, so it's incorrect to say began. It should be began. Yeah, it should be began. And yes, some of you already answer. If I answer, if Miss Diana correct, if I change it to since, then I can put the sentence into he has begun. But I never put verb 3 alone. I cannot put verb 3 alone. Yeah. So if it's already in 2005, then we don't need the word has. We also don't need the word began. So we just simply say began. And customers, it's countable because we have s at the end. Similar like the warmer before, datum, data. Data is a plural word of datum. So, of course, it's not match if we put it with a little. So the best answer for this is he began his business in 2005 or 2005, but only a few customers wanted to buy his product. Thank you for Miss Eka, for Miss Diana, Miss Amelinda, Miss Eka, Miss Melsa. And the last, Woma, in writing task 1. Please change this sentence into a passive sentence. They already have mailed this letter. They already have mailed this letter. What do you think the passive sentence of this question? Similar like before, I'm gonna count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I got answers from Miss Amelinda, Miss Eka, Miss Melsa, Miss Dianawati. Okay. Very good answer. Yeah. And Mr. Shifa. To be honest with you, when I went to US in 2005, after I came back from US, I learned about passive voice. And you guess what? My score was 0. I just came from US and I knew nothing about grammar. And at that point, when I learned about this question, I couldn't answer. But you all could answer that very well. Yes, the answer is supposed to be this letter already has been mailed. You can also put this letter has already been mailed, or this letter has been already mailed. It's okay. Yeah, you can put the word already. The only place you cannot put already if there is an object right after that. But it's so technical. When we learn about TOEFL, it's actually there. Because TOEFL it's more about the grammar and stuff. But IELTS it's much more various than this type. So that's why I will move on to the IELTS writing tips and tricks. So I'd like to introduce you that in IELTS writing tasks, they are divided into 2 tasks. So if you join the prediction next week, you will have 2 tasks of writing. The first task, it's about describing data. I'm pretty sure as the magister students or doctoral students, you need to write an abstract, at least in English, or you need to submit some journal to some corpus or something like that. So writing task 1 in IELTS, it's about describing data. That's why in IELTS writing task 1, you cannot give any opinions. You cannot mention I or you or they or we, and you cannot make any conclusion in IELTS writing task 1. Different than IELTS writing task 1, we also have IELTS writing task 2. In IELTS writing task 2, it's actually not only just give opinion, but it's actually about an essay. In essay, we have much more freedom to say whatever we want to say. We can say I, we can say you, we can say they, but be careful. In both writing, we cannot contract the sentence. What do you mean by contract the sentence, Mr. Dennis? In IELTS writing task 1 or writing task 2, you cannot write like this. I don't know. Never write like this. Because different than in speaking. In speaking, you are more natural to use the contraction or elision even. But if you write, you must write completely. I do not know about it, let's say. Yeah. So, and in IELTS writing task 2, you must have conclusion. I'll divide this session into 2 types, the part 1 and part 2, because I think if I'm mistaken, the time is much longer. So, Miss Anissa, please remind me if my time is almost running out. If you take the paper base, this is the answering sheet look like. Yes, in IELTS writing task 1, I probably forgot to mention, you need to write at least 150 words. And your words will be counted even if you take the paper base. If you do the IELTS writing task 2, you need to write 250 words. If I'm not mistaken, if you make a journal, you need to make around 1,000 words, probably, or 500. I'm not really sure since I'm not master degree yet up until now. Yeah, although I'm trying to apply for master degree this year, inshallah. So, what is the criteria for part 1 and part 2? In IELTS writing part 1, there are 4 criteria. The first one is about task achievement. What is task achievement is included about? It's about how can you mention 3 things. First is about overview. Overview is important in IELTS writing task 1 because in IELTS writing task 1, as I said earlier, there is no conclusion. What's the difference between conclusion and overview? We're going to practice and learn more later. Okay, and second, it's about accuracy of data. So because we talk about data, so the data must be presented clearly. That's why we cannot use any contractions there. And the third one, I forget. So the third one, what is the third one related to task achievement? Something about data, but I forget. To be honest, I forget. I mentioned about 3 things, but then suddenly I forget. Okay, well, the second part, it's about task response. In task response, the different than in part 1, you need to write conclusion, thesis statement, and you need to address the task. That's in writing task 2. While beside the first criterion, the second criterion is about lexical resource. This is about vocab. So how can you write with with much more academic vocabulary? And of course, we will see your grammatical range and accuracy, including your spelling. So if you mistype the words, then you will get a lower score as well. And the last is about coherence, cohesion. This one, it's related to how do you connect each sentence and connect each paragraphs. It's related to the linkers. And the score will be from band 0 until band 9. So let's say that, let's say in task 1, you get band 5, you get band 7, you get band 6, you get band 4, let's say. So your score will be 5 plus 7 plus 6 and plus 4, which means 12, 18, 22. 22 because your writing task 1 or writing task 2 will be divided by 4. So it means you will get 5.5. That's how do we count the criteria. The next slide will explain much more detail. Writing task 2 is very important. Why? Because writing task 2 worth it about 60% of your writing. That's why if you're writing task 2 only band score 6, while writing task 1 band 8, your score will be only 8 plus 6 plus 6, which means 6.66. And if we go to 6.66, your score will be going down into 6.5. But you may think differently. Let's say that you're writing task 1 only band 6, writing task 2 band 8, writing task, because it's double point, so your score will be 22 divided by 3, which means it goes into band 7.33. Because the number is going to the nearest half score, so it's not band 7, but it goes up into band 7.5. That's why IELTS writing task 2 is also important. Not only just focus with IELTS writing task 1. Why it works double? Because first, you write more. And second, you also is suggested to allocate more time since you write more. And what is the part 1 structure and practice? In IELTS writing part 1, if you follow these steps, I can guarantee you can get at least band 6 above. Yeah. And of course, if you write at least 150 words. The first paragraph, it's about introduction. So how do you paraphrase the question? Paragraph 2, it's about an overview. I'm going to tell you what is an overview later on. And paragraph 3 and paragraph 4, it's about details of the data. This is my virtual teacher. Her name is Liz. Personally, I never met her, but I always watch her in YouTube. She also has very good website. I recommend you, if you have spare time and want to learn IELTS more, learn writing from her. She has great websites. So this is the example of the question. The chart shows the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods in 2010. What you need to write, you need to write the introduction, overview, body paragraph A, body paragraph B. I wish there will be simulation, but I'm worried because the time is limited. I just want to show you the example of writing task 1 look like. So how do we begin our writing? We're going to start from introduction. The introduction, you shouldn't start the introduction by saying expenditure means blah, 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 blah. No, you just need to paraphrase. What is paraphrase? Apa sih paraphrase itu? Paraphrase means to change the words or to change the structure or to change the sentences into your own words. Jadi kita mengubah kosakata sesuai dengan tidak seperti sama persis. I believe as a magister students or doctoral students, you cannot copy paste your reference because you become a plagiator. So that's why IELTS actually give you the skill. So this is one of the example of the introduction part. You shouldn't do any more introduction except paraphrase the sentence. The words shows change into illustrates. The words expenditure is extended more to the amount of money spent. The word two countries are expanded into France and UK. And the words consumer goods are also explained much detail by using brackets, by saying 5 consumer goods. And there is one more information which is not covered in the question, but we can see from the table, it says pound sterling. So units are measured in pound sterling. So this is enough for your introduction. So introduction, more or less, there are about 30 until 40 words written. After the introduction, we will go to overview. What is an overview? Overview means highlight key features. Highlight key features means you need to know which one is the highest or which one is the lowest if we talk about the bar chart. But if we talk about another question such as diagram or maps, it's going to be different case. I just give you one example because again, this is introduction. So how the overview paragraph look like? Okay, so since it's about the highest and the lowest, you may start by saying overall, the expenditure of the UK was higher. It's about comparison. And both French and British spent the most money on cars, and the least amount of money was spent on perfume. In overview paragraph, you do not mention about data because we talk about overview. So overview, it's about introducing the next paragraph, while the data will be explained in the body paragraph. The best way is to divide the body paragraphs into 2. So you can divide them into body paragraph A, you want to talk about what happened in cars, perfume, or cameras, or what happens in computers or books, or any kind of things. Okay. Ms. Amelinda has a question. I want to ask in the introduction part. If we don't want to use brackets to explain the consumer goods, what is the best way to use? You can use the word such as, yeah. So you can say the introduction. 5 consumer goods such as. You may also even say the word namely. You may also even say the words which are. So, but brackets are academic. So it doesn't mean that when you write brackets, it's not academic. It is academic. Yeah. Okay. That's my answer for Miss Amelinda that wrote on the chat box. Okay. Previously, I was up until the body paragraph. My pleasure, Miss Amelinda. After the body paragraph, okay, how do we write body paragraph? It's only show the example. In body paragraph, you must write the detail. For this case, you must write the detail about the data. In this case, we have the words around 450. And this also important to use some linkers, such as in terms of course, as opposed to. And if we talk, because this is about 2010, started from the overview, everything will be in the past situation. So you'll never ever find the word is or am or are or will if the questions related to the past situation. Yeah, but if the questions is about the present time, then you may use that verbs. Yeah. Okay. Remember, in IELTS writing task 1, we don't need the conclusion. So we actually just break out the data. Same like abstract. Do you put conclusion? Yes, in some abstract there is conclusion. But in IELTS, no conclusion in IELTS writing task 1. Okay, that's about IELTS writing task 1. Okay, does anybody have, do we have a particular question and answer, or I can just, what do you think, Miss Anissa? I just want to reconfirm.
It's okay to continue. If someone wants to ask, they can ask directly. There's not a certain Q&A session.
Q&A section, right? Okay. So if anybody wants to ask me, you can. If you can text me, boleh juga nyalain mikrofonnya, jadi saya bisa kenalan. So it's fine to type questions like Miss Amelinda, or boleh juga nyalakan mikrofon. Okay. And how many minutes do I have left, Miss Anissa? Just wanna reconfirm. You still mute. I cannot hear your voice.
I'm sorry, about 20 minutes.
20 minutes left. Okay.
Yes.
So I think I still have time to have your participation. So since IELTS writing task 2, it's about giving opinion. I want you, because this is writing again, I want you to type down in the chat box about agree or disagree. The question is, do you agree or disagree? Women are as smart as men. Women are as smart as men. I want you to type down in the chat box. If you agree, why? If you disagree, why? And just type down in the chat box. I'll give you Tokopedia just reminds me something. No, sorry. I give you 10 until 20 seconds to type down in the chat box. Okay? Please type down women are as smart as men. What do you think? 20 seconds to type down in the chat box. Start from now, please. Ya. Jadi nggak apa-apa kalau tulisan kan kita bisa pikir dulu gitu ya. It's a bit different than if we speak. Sometimes it's much more difficult. Oke. Saya kasih tambahan deh 40 detik lagi. Jadi pas 1 menit ya. Everyone can type down, or if you wanna be involved, please type down in the chat box. Do you agree or disagree? Women are as smart as men. Agree or disagree? "15 seconds left." Okay, I'll give extra 1 more minute deh. I give extra 1 more minute. If nobody answer, then I will nominate then to. Okay, there you go. Oh, I got the answer from moderator itself. Okay, from Miss Anissa. Okay, she agrees because every human has brain, regardless if they are men or women. Okay, one thing that if I can just give you feedback for Miss Anissa, so human is always singular. So we would say every human has, and brain is something countable. So you can say because every human has a brain, regardless, because you say human, so it should be he or she. You can say regardless if he is a man or she is a woman. Okay, I just give a feedback really close there. Yeah, okay. And I will give another feedback to Miss Amelinda. Miss Amelinda said, I agree. Intelligence is something that everyone has by learning something. Okay, so I agree. I just want to give feedback. Be careful when you write I, it must be in capital. I in English is always capital. I agree. Because if I were you, I would add the linker. I agree because intelligence is uncountable. You write without any article. Intelligence is something that everyone has. Probably not the preposition is not by, but I would say okay, I agree because intelligence is something that everyone has from learning something. That's probably my feedback for Miss Amelinda. And the next part is from Mr. Odi. Mr. Odi say that, do you agree or disagree? And Mr. Odi say, yes, I do. Because in my opinion, that's very good. Smart, okay. Smart can be achieved by study hard. Consequently, every human, either man or women, are similar in their intelligence. Okay, let me give you feedback. Okay, yes, I do, because in my opinion, unfortunately, smart is not a noun. So you can say being smart. You can say the word being smart because smart is an adjective. Because in my opinion, being smart can be achieved by studying hard. Consequently, because you say either man or woman, I wouldn't suggest by saying every, because every mentions about the singular noun. So I would say all humans. So I would start by putting the S there. Either man or woman are similar into their not intelligency, but intelligence. And intelligence is double L. So that's my feedback for Mr. Odi. Thank you very much for Mr. Odi, for Miss Anissa, and also for Miss Amelinda. If you have any questions, why Mr. like this or like that, you can complain to me. Yeah, it's fine if you interrupt me. Yeah. Okay, that's the first one, but I will not go to the next question. I actually prepare for some other questions, such as Samsung is as not fast as iPhone, and the last one is reading a book is as enjoyable as listening to music. But I'll move on since the time is limited. Okay, IELTS essay types in writing task 2. The types are divided into 3 types: the opinion types, the non-opinion types, and the hybrid types. In my class, I always divide this into 3 sessions or 2 sessions at least, because if I introduce you everything here, it needs at least 2 hours to tell and give some practice at least an hour, but I don't have time for that. So I would just focus with the opinion type because you also help me with the opinion type. Yeah. So this is again, you'll meet with Miss Liz, the one that I said earlier, my virtual teacher. In IELTS test, there will always be the introduction part, which becomes your easiest paragraph because you just need to paraphrase. The question look like this. In order to study at university, students are required to pay expensive tuition fees. Not all students can afford them. So some people think that university education should be free for everyone. To what extent do you agree or disagree? For this particular type, I also would like to ask everyone who wants to be willing to share his or her opinion. So, to what extent do you agree or disagree? About what? About, so I go to the next sentence. Do you, sorry, there is no question, sorry. To what extent do you agree or disagree if university education should be free? University education should be free for everyone. Oh, this is usually when I was in bachelor degree in IPB. There is a special division in BMKM talking about tuition fee. I don't know in Forum Wacana, do you have that or not? But yeah, what do you think? Should everyone get free tuition fee or they need to pay? Or what do you think? Please type down in your chat box. Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes, same like before. Nggak apa-apa jawabannya salah. It's not about right or wrong, but it's about giving your opinion. 2 minutes to type your answers in the chat box, please. Also provides your reason, please. Okay, if you have finished to write your answers, please. Yeah. Okay. While you are writing, I will just move on to the next sentences. Yeah, and later on I'll give you my feedback. Okay. So how do we construct this? First, you need to have concise introduction. You need to have a clear opinion in the thesis. The opinion is clear and you need to mention whether you agree or disagree. And you need to give body paragraphs. And of course, in this case, you must have a conclusion paragraph. Yeah. And you need to bring some supporting points. And you need to structure your paragraphs. If you study in the classroom, we will actually learn more about that. Yeah. You may also use the linking words. This is the example of introduction. Yeah. First and foremost, you just need to paraphrase. This is the paraphrase actually. Fee for higher education are expensive and not affordable for everyone. So according to some university, education should be free for all people regardless of their background. In my opinion, I agree. So you can choose either you agree or disagree. Anyway, I'm still waiting ya. Nggak apa-apa kalian, everyone can still type down in the chat box and later on I can give you feedback ya. In this case, it says I agree. Agree why? University ought to be free as it will greatly benefit both individuals and society. So we must have unique reasons. If I read this, my expectation, the next body paragraph will talk about benefits for individuals and society. And yes, it is. This is the first body paragraph. A good reason to abolish university fees is blah, 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 blah. And the next body paragraph, this is still for individual. And this is another point that having no fees at university means that students will no longer to work at some time as studying to cover their costs. Absolutely, some of us probably still work as the assistant, as the employee, let's say, but if you have free education, you don't need to work anymore. And finally, because it said earlier, benefit individually and society, in the long run, the simple reason that it will open up higher education to a wider section of the population. So in this case, it's not the closing statement. The conclusion or closing statement should be written in the specific body, in the specific conclusion paragraph. In conclusion, free university education is a must for any country. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Yeah. That's all about my explanation about the reading and writing. If you have more questions, you may ask me. If you want to follow Leaders English, we also have the Instagram, Leaders English. We actually now have 4 programs. If you want to join IELTS course, you can join the IELTS course. Actually, the registration closed 15 April, but we extended, kita perpanjang sampai 30 April. Because this, one of the reason is because this session also until the end of this month. Jadi kalau ada yang mau ikut IELTS class, you may join the IELTS class. If anybody wants to join the TOEFL, it's also welcome. I have the TOEFL class. If you want to improve the conversation deeper, from how do you speak with your partner, how do we do the negotiation, and how do we have presentation, you can join the conversation class. And the last, I also have the kids class. Before I close, actually I have one sentence here from Miss Mariam. Okay, I would like to give feedback first before I close. Okay, Miss Mariam said, let me just copy paste to everyone. Miss Mariam wrote, I disagree with the statement. In my opinion, the fee may be suitable to be set up more higher for a rich people and it more lower for a poor people. the university still need a fund for paying the lecturer, for paying the operational fund and other costs that can't fulfill from government. Very good idea, Miss Mariam. In terms of the feedback, I just want to give grammatical feedback. About the idea, I have no concern with it. Yeah. The first one, the grammatical problem, it's about when we say higher, we cannot say more. You can say the word much, much higher. And when we say people, we cannot say a people. So you can say for rich people. Same like lower. And don't forget to put a verb, it is. So, okay, it is lower for poor people. And then the university is singular. University still needs, you can say a fund for paying the lecturer. I believe it's supposed to be more than one, so lectures. For paying the operational fund, I believe it's also more than one fund. The operational funds and other costs. Be careful, do not put can't. So you need to write cannot fulfill. Okay, when you say cannot, it must be with verb 1. Cannot fulfill from the government. So this is the feedback for Miss Mariam. Okay, Miss Mariam. And I will give one more feedback for Miss Amelinda, because Miss Amelinda also wrote the sentence there. Okay. In my opinion, I disagree that university education should be free for everyone, because how the lecturer get paid or how the university provides some great facilities to the students. Okay. If you want to make question, it's okay, but I do not suggest that, because in the thesis, we call this as the thesis statement. In thesis statement, we do not use any question mostly. So if I were you, I would say, because how it's supposed to be not with the question mark, just with the full period, especially in a private university, as it is stated on the state law. There are some scholarships, very good, which can be joined. It must be in passive voice by students who find the fees are expensive. It's only just a grammatical correction for Miss Amelia, yeah, if I'm mistaken. Miss Amelinda, sorry. Miss Amelinda. Okay. So that's about my feedback. Thank you very much for Miss Amelinda, Miss Mariam, and Miss Anissa earlier, and some other participants. That's all. If you have any question, I know there is no special Q&A, but if there is still time, someone want to ask me, I'm mostly welcome to answer your question. Thank you. I give it back to the moderator.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. So because we still have 1 or 2 minutes left, is there anybody want to give us a question before we close this Zoom?
The questions also can be in bahasa, jadi nggak apa-apa, boleh kok nanya pakai bahasa. As it stated earlier, nggak apa-apa, nggak haram pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Atau mau nanya-nanya tentang IELTS secara luas juga boleh ya, Mr. Dennis?
Boleh.
Apakah ada yang mau bertanya? Silahkan, boleh pakai chat, boleh pakai open mic juga. Sepertinya tidak ada yang mau bertanya lagi ya.
Apa? Mungkin kalau boleh, Miss Anissa, saya cuma hanya menyampaikan bagi yang berminat untuk ikutan prediction test pekan depan, ya masih ada seats, right?
Yes, there's still some left.
Oke, masih ada seats. Jadi kalau ada yang mau berminat untuk gimana sih prediction test IELTS itu, walaupun kita tanpa speaking nih. Walaupun sebenarnya saya pernah nawarin, tapi kan nggak, we agree that without speaking, karena kita ada speaking kemarin dengan Miss Tracy. Jadi bagi yang mau ikutan prediction test, like what Miss Anissa say, there are some still seats left that you can join. Jadi bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, teman-teman sekalian bisa tahu bagaimana sih rasanya tes IELTS. I must tell you that it's very challenging for the IELTS.
There is a question from Miss Eka. Mr. Dennis,
Okay.
I will help to read it. Sir, could you please give us a few tips untuk mengoptimalkan waktu yang diberikan 20 menit untuk tas 1 dan 50 menit tas 2. Terlebih untuk tas 2 kita harus memikirkan ide dan hubungannya. Pada tips triknya.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Eka. Ya, betul. Memang untuk let me explain this in bahasa Indonesia ya, because it's only just Q&A. Terkait dengan writing task 1 dan writing task 2 alokasi waktunya, saran saya ini penting nih sarannya karena ini juga pernah berlaku di saya dan itu tidak saya lakukan. Nah, planning adalah important. Jadi apalagi kalau bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, teman-teman sekalian melaksanakan computer based test, saya sarankan entah itu planning untuk membuat overview atau planning untuk membuat idea, itu setidaknya kalau writing task 1 alokasikan waktu sekitar 5 menit untuk membuat planning di task 1. In task 2 karena kita banyak poinnya dan soalnya biasanya cuma sedikit, maka kita planningnya itu kurang lebih 10 menit untuk persiapannya. Nah, jangan kalau sudah planning, jangan lupa kita udah buat planning nih, maka ikuti planningnya ketika kita sedang menulis. Nah, setelah berapa lama kalau writing task 1? Saran saya sekitar 10 sampai 12 menit untuk menulis menulis detailnya di writing task 1. Jadi kalau anggaplah 10 menit, planningnya 5 menit, kita masih ada 5 menit, 3 sampai 5 menit lagi. 3 sampai 5 menit lagi itu jangan lupa cek grammar. Jangan sampai kita fokus ke grammar, jadinya idenya nggak ada gitu. Jadi karena yang penting adalah ide dalam menulis IELTS writing, bukan hanya grammar. Karena grammar adalah salah satu poin dari 4 poin yang dinilai. Dan terus kalau IELTS writing task 2 gimana? Saya tadi katakan kalau planningnya kurang lebih 10 menit, kalau menulisnya kurang lebih 20 sampai 25 menit. Dan checking grammarnya sama, sekitar 5 menit sampai 7 menit. Saran saya juga itu bisa berlaku kalau kita banyak praktis. Webinar nggak akan guna, jujur aja nggak akan guna kalau nggak dipakai. I mean like that's why I want you to participate, karena mau dapat nilai IELTS 6,5 tanpa usaha, dreams is only just dreams. Kita tidur aja dapat tuh IELTS 6,5 tapi dalam mimpi. Nah, oleh karena itu practice nggak harus ikutan kursus saya, nggak harus. Teman-teman bisa, tadi saya ada beberapa website yang saya sampaikan, nanti saya sampaikan juga di grup. Tapi kalau memang mau ikut kursus saya juga nggak apa-apa. Gitu. Saya senang malah, siapa yang nggak senang gitu kan. Nah, tapi sekali lagi saya bukan hanya promosi di sini, tapi saya mau menyampaikan bahwa kalau mau dapat nilai IELTS bagus, sama juga dengan belajar TOEFL, jadi harus ada latihannya. Nah, mungkin begitu Miss Eka. Kalau ada yang mau tanyakan langsung yang kurang paham, boleh. Mungkin. Ya, sama-sama Miss Eka. My pleasure.
Okay, I will ask another. If there are anybody who want to ask again, this is the last change because it's almost the time to end this Zoom. Anybody want to ask? I think that's all maybe. So I hope this webinar can help you to get a sebuah potret dari seperti apa sih IELTS, apalagi yang belum pernah nyoba. Nah, it's time for you to prepare for scholarship hunting or maybe student exchange hunting or maybe bantuan penelitian untuk ke luar negeri ya. Semoga ini bisa bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Okay, so I think this is the end of the presentation session. I will remind everyone again that in 24th April 2022, the Committee of IELTS webinar also prepared an IELTS prediction test. I think it's a great opportunity to try challenging your English skills, so I encourage you all to register and participate in this event. We will accept registration until next week, Saturday next week. So, thank you again to Mr. Dennis, and also thank you all to all the participants who come to today webinar. I'm sorry if during all this presentation session there are some errors that I make. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please do not leave the Zoom yet because the Master of Ceremony have some announcements. Okay, to Nurul, I give you the stage. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you Anissa for your moderate. Okay, finally we come to the end of this webinar. Jadi jangan lupa ya untuk semua peserta mengisi presensi yang telah dikirimkan panitia di chat box. Okay, and as my promise at the beginning of the meeting, we will announce the winner of the door prize ya. We have to categorize dua kategori pemenang door prize. Yang pertama itu yang peserta terbaik. Nah, peserta terbaik ini adalah peserta yang teraktif, yang sering komunikasi pada saat berlangsungnya webinar. Jadi berhak mendapatkan voucher diskon dan juga sertifikat. Dan satu lagi itu adalah kategori pemenang game. Nah, kan ada game yang kita mainkan tadi. Oke, inilah yang pertama. Peserta terbaiknya kepada Dewi Uswatun. Apakah ada Dewi Uswatun di sini? Nah, yang kedua juga ada Audia. Selamat kepada peserta terbaik yang mendapatkan voucher diskon dan juga sertifikat. Nah, kemudian juga ada Eka Nurul nih, best partisipannya. Selamat untuk 3 pemenang terbaik. Kemudian kita nantikan juga pemenang games. Nah, ternyata sudah ada di sini pemenang gamenya. Berhak mendapatkan voucher diskon 60%. Selamat kepada Amelinda Kusumaningtyas, Syifa Robani, dan Ahmad Zaki. Untuk pemenang yang ada kekeliruan di sertifikatnya, mohon bisa menghubungi peserta ya. Jangan lupa menghubungi peserta. Oke, dan selamat sekali lagi. Oke, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your coming and your nice attention, and sorry for any mistake. Okay, see you next week in the test. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Bye everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.